Have you ever wondered how to customize your ride without breaking the bank? This video is for you. Today we're going to be customizing both of our vehicles using decals from Rough Grounds. The Bronco is going to be getting vintage stripes as well as a topographic hood decal, while the F-150 is going to be getting a more modern, sleek, matte black hood decal and a unique tailgate decal. Whether you're a DIY enthusiast or just looking for some inspiration, this video is for you. Stick around to see how some simple upgrades can completely change your ride. Alrighty guys, how we're gonna start is I actually have the decal laying flat on the hood right now just to make sure I understand exactly where it's gonna lay before I start doing anything. Now the way we're gonna do this is we are gonna do a wet application because that is what is recommended on the Rough Grounds website. So we're gonna be using a mixture of soap and water, more water than soap, only a few drops, to go ahead and just spray it all over where we're gonna lay the hood decal. That way we can move it around as necessary before squeegeeing it into place. So we're actually going to leave the backing and the transfer tape on the decal. Once we spray the water on, we'll slowly start peeling off that back piece of paper. And then once we have it exactly where we want it, we'll start squeegeeing it into place. So I am starting by spraying everything down with the soapy water. We are doing this to, again, make it easier to adjust as necessary. It is important to note we did wash the vehicle before we started doing any of this, but we did it last night, giving it time to dry fully. So before we set it down on the soapy water place on the hood, I'm actually gonna go ahead and lift the back paper of the decal up just a little bit. Just enough to be able to start off with lining it up. Okay, the soapy water really does allow you to be able to move it, which is nice. So the idea is to peel it off from underneath as flat as possible. So once it gets over there, I'm gonna need you to help me and then we can adjust as we go.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay.
It's okay. No, it's soapy. That's just it.
I'm just gonna pull it out now, okay?
Okay. Okay, and we can adjust.
So you want the farthermost corner right to the edge of the hood?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna squeegee starting as close to the middle as possible, going out to get out the air bubbles that are trapped underneath as well as to get out the soap and water. I know the online instructions say to keep the transfer tape on it. I don't think I'm going to. I think once I feel like enough of the water's off, I'm gonna release the transfer tape and then use this guy that's not as
aggressive?
Yeah, to just continue. That way I can really see where those lines or the air bubbles are that I need to remove. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if we don't take the time to remove all the air bubbles, it's not gonna adhere properly. I am actually. Yeah, see, so on your side I can see quite a bit of some air bubbles. So that's what I'm gonna work on right now.
I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this off.
Okay.
So we don't have soapy dish soap. Oop. Dry on your hood.
We'll say for somebody doing it as a first time project, it's fairly easy. Just take your time. It is very helpful to have two people to help align everything. But just take your time, make sure you're squeegeeing out all the air bubbles. And once you have everything removed, you do need to let it sit and dry for anywhere to 3 to 4 hours. So you don't want to just put this on and start driving it immediately. You want to let it dry, and that should help the adhesion. I'm excited to see what the stripes will look like. So I was a little nervous when I saw that this decal was for the 4-door because I couldn't picture what it would look like on the 2-door. But I gotta say, the way they cut it for the 2-door is like perfect because it goes all the way back to the wheel well and it is just perfectly shaped, so it should sit flush against the fender, which I'm super excited about. And I was nervous about this blue because the whole reason I went with blue was because I wanted to try to match the Black Diamond logo itself. And I was nervous the blue was going to be too light, but Devin told me, no, it's a light blue, go with the light blue. And this is for you, Devin, on camera. Devin was right. The light blue looks perfect with the Black Diamond decal. So I'm excited to just get started. I'm just trying to decide where to start. I think it's gonna be better to start on this side because this is the biggest surface area. So I'm gonna spray the soap and water mixture just underneath this piece. Again, I'd rather have more than less. From there, I'm gonna go ahead, peel off a tiny corner. Yep. Make sure it is where I want it to be. gonna stop right there. I tried to basically get this whole door. It is so hot where we live right now. It's about 111 today, so we are able to take off the transfer tape relatively quickly because everything is drying pretty fast. So if you do live in a hotter area, you may be able to take off the transfer tape pretty easily and pretty quickly. Otherwise, you do want to try to let it set. And some of these air bubbles that you're seeing too, they're gonna settle. And if they don't, then I will take a needle and just put a little pin or a razor, put a little poke right in the middle of the bubble to release the air, and then I'll be able to smooth it out and you won't even see the little poke. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to tuck these little pieces right in here so we have a nice clean line on the stripe. If they're not sticking the way I want them to, they're not staying stuck, so I'm gonna heat them up, hopefully making the adhesive stickier, and that way they should stay tucked and clean. And there we go, that looks a lot cleaner. Alrighty guys, so the Bronco's been customized to my exact specifications, so now it's time to go ahead and work on Devin's truck. Now his truck is gonna be a little bit more difficult in the idea that he already has a hood decal on his truck. This hood decal has seen some better days. It's pretty faded from being out in the sun, so we do have to remove it. Gonna start to try to get it towards the corner. So unfortunately, this decal does have what are like perforated circles, which is making it difficult for it to come off in one piece. So what I'm actually gonna try a little bit of is I'm gonna try to start in this corner where it is a full piece and see if I can peel it off this way, peeling off the circles at the same time. You can see we're getting some peeling. This is not gonna come off in one whole piece, I do not think. Oh, damn it. guys, so we finally got Devin's old hood decal off. Definitely took longer than expected. We did have to use what are called plastic razors. These are sharp like metal razors, but they didn't scratch Devin's paint. That did help a lot. So I have two different versions here. One is just the razor. One, it has a little handle that you can hold it in, which is very helpful. We also had to use some Goo Gone to remove some of the adhesive, as well as some alcohol. Once the adhesive is all gone, we're all ready to go. So let's go ahead and go lay down the decal.
Ready?
Yeah, are you ready?
Yep. Oh, what's going on here? It's tearing?
Yeah, that happens. You just got it.
It's because the paper got really wet.
It comes off super easy though.
Try to do it in sections, and it's tearing off right there. How about like there? How's that look? And then we have a small gap here, which is probably fine because it's consistent.
Yeah.
We are ready to install the final decal from Rough Grounds, and it's going on the back of my F-150 tailgate. It's very unique. It's going to be a matte black topographic style decal.
I'm actually going to be removing Devin's F-150 badge that we have on the back of his tailgate so we can get the decal to lay flat and evenly. This badge is held on by two different things. It is held on by an adhesive as well as clips, so we are going to be using some plastic pry tools to go ahead and get underneath it, release the adhesion, and then pull the clips out. This is something you do want to take your time with. This is plastic, so you don't want to break it. Woo! There's one. There's the other. Yeah, we're gonna have to align it more as after it's on, so.
Yeah, because we are not probably on the hole.
No, but that's okay. We just need to get it off. I mean, get it on and then we can align it.
Okay. All right, let's line up this corner here. It's all freshly wet over here, so it should.
No, so it's
Can
nice.
I let you take it?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna peel off the white,
Yep,
right?
yep.
And there it goes.
More over on your side.
And lower. We're covering the camera, so we need to go lower.
It's stuck on the bottom, so what I was trying to do is adjust the top so then I could pull the bottom.
Okay.
That looks pretty good. I can feel where the holes are for the emblem, so I'm just gonna take a razor blade and I'm just gonna cut little slits. So there's a slit here, just like that. I might have to make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's one. I don't know if that's a slit right there, so I'm gonna wait. But I do know that's a slit right there. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the adhesive to the back of this emblem, and then we'll be able to stick right on. Okay, so I did put the adhesive on the back here. Now, one thing to keep in mind, the 0 in the F-150 has a hole that goes through it, so you don't wanna put the adhesive over that because you will see it. So what I did is I placed two pieces, one across the 1.5 and part of the 0, and then one piece across the F. There we go. Now I can adjust around that as needed. I've got to say, I'm a real fan of this tailgate decal. I love the topographic, and I just think it pulls Devin's whole back end of his truck together nicely. The black up on the tailgate, the black down here, it looks really good. Oh, we're missing something though.
So I went ahead and I purchased a matte black cover that's gonna go right over here over the Ford emblem and kind of give it a sleeker, more blacked out look. Now all I need to do is remove the backing off the tape right here, and I'm just gonna stick it on. I'm gonna line it up around the camera here. And I'm just gonna press it on. And it has like a nice custom fit. So that was probably the easiest thing we've done all day. What do you think? How does it look? The nice thing about the matte black is it really ties everything together. It really helps, especially because I did notice they do have a rather large cutout around the Ford emblem. They probably do that just so it's easier to align and give you some breathing room. However, I don't really like how much blue is kind of showing through. So hiding the chrome, adding some matte black, definitely I feel like kind of gives it that little extra cherry on top.
Alrighty guys, that's all the decals. Now my favorite, I'm a little biased, are actually my stripes on the side of my Bronco. I really like how the blue matches the black diamond logo. We weren't sure if it was going to, but it looks amazing. And it's kind of interesting because all the different vinyls I felt like had different levels of difficulty. Like the hood decal on my Bronco was really easy to put on. I think that one took us 10 minutes,
Yeah,
if
that was
that.
definitely the quickest.
Yeah. Then the stripes on the side of my Bronco were intermediate, just
Yeah.
because you had to make sure everything lined up and you had to get all of the extra air bubbles out. It took a little bit more time. Then when it came to your truck, applying your hood was about the same as mine. The only difference was removing the old decal, which was a pain in the butt, but you only really need to worry about that if you actually have a F-150 with that factory decal on it. Hardest decal that we did today was definitely the tailgate decal. Just because of all the extra ridges and stuff in it, it made it really difficult to get it just right. I would definitely recommend doing it yourself. I think you get a different sense of pride and accomplishment when you do it yourself. Of course, it's nice to have somebody else do it, or even to have, instead of a vinyl, it painted on. That's great, but it's expensive, and I was able to do this on my own for a fraction of the cost. And I feel like every time I see the stripes, I remember me putting them on, and it makes the car so much more special to me.
So what I hear you saying is there's a little bit of pride of tackling the project, but also you save a bunch of money. So, you know, for $100 versus a few hundred, probably, not to include labor. Like if you took my truck to a shop and asked them to do the vinyl and they had to deal with the hours that it took us to remove the old vinyl, that's probably going to cost a decent amount of money. So tackling it yourself over a weekend is definitely something that I'd recommend too. Just have patience, and having a friend or significant other with you is definitely going to be a big help.
So I decided on the decals for my Bronco based solely on the fact I wanted it to be unique. I knew I wanted some kind of stripe, and I wanted it to match the overall aesthetic of the vehicle. Part of the reason I chose the stripe decal for my Bronco was because I was really just wanting a stripe on the side of my Bronco. There's a few different reasons. One is because it does bring in that more vintage Bronco look into the modern Bronco, but at the same time, I'm not trying to recreate a vintage Bronco. I have a modern Bronco. I wanted it to be reminiscent of the vintage ones while still being modern and looking sleek, hence the hockey stick design when it comes to the stripe.
And that blue outline really tied together with your black diamond logo and your black diamond as a whole. As for why I picked a topographic decal for my F-150, it's to complete the trimmer package. Now this trimmer isn't actually an off-road trimmer, but I am turning it into that. If you want to learn more, check out the video right here.
And let us know down in the comment box which decal you think looks the best, or which one is your favorite that we applied today. We'll also leave a link down below for Rough Ground's website so you can go ahead and purchase a decal for your own vehicle.
We'll catch you on the next video.
Bye guys.